Yo guys, I hope you're doing super well. In this video, I'm going to be talking about the structure and how I personally go about structuring my emails, for client outreach, the best kind of structure of the, actual emails themselves. And then also if you have like a follow-up sequence, how do you structure, your first email, how is that differently structured to the second, third and fourth, etc, etc. Now, two things guys before we jump into the video. First things first, as you guys know, make sure you smash that like button and subscribe to the channel if you enjoy. I am posting every other day on the channel. Now, the second thing is, if you've gone through any kind of coaching with me, whether that be, the one-off calls that I do where I just teach you and show you my exact e-com outreach system that has personally got me all my clients, and also, just gets all of my students such good results and get some clients as well. Whether it's that or you've gone through the 4-week mentorship program, where I just literally take you from zero to wherever you want to get to. Whether you start at zero and I take you to where you want to get to, or you've got a few clients and you want to scale things up, that's the 4-week program. Now, if you've gone through that or the one-off coaching calls, message me on my Instagram. You can find the link down below. Message me on my Instagram because I actually have something for you guys. So make sure you go ahead and message me. Now look guys, long intro there, but I want to jump straight into the content. Now, how do I go about structuring my emails? Again, if you're one of my students in any way, you would have got my exact scripts, but I want to cover the overarching structure of the emails and of the follow-up sequences for you guys, so that you have a good idea about how I go about structuring my email. So for the structure of the emails, okay, you want to do it in a specific way, in a certain way that is logical for the reader, because when you're sending out emails, when you're doing outreach of any kind, you need to put yourself in the client's shoes. You got to think that some complete random to them, they have no idea who you are, so some complete random is emailing them, asking them for 45 minutes of their time. And if they're a business owner, 45 minutes of somebody's time is quite a bit. Now, it's not quite a bit in terms of the value that you can provide them within the 45 minutes, but the thing is they don't know that is actually going to be valuable because they don't know who you are. So you need to, the first email really is just about who you are and what you can do and what you do for, your clients. If you're an e-com, maybe you do it for yourself or some of your, e-com stores, whatever it is. You need to tell them who you are. You need to tell them what you do so they know who, what type of person is emailing them. And then you need to go ahead and show them / tell them how you can help them, why they should be listening to you, why, you could be of value to them. So starting out, hey X, you want to, that's when I go straight into who am I, what I do, what I own. Obviously, I own an e-com agency, so you want to talk a little bit about that. And then from there, you can kind of go into why you're reaching out, like why you're even messaging them. That's the next thing, because another kind of really powerful thing to understand is try and think about the questions that they have, and then you want to answer those questions in whatever outreach you're doing. Obviously, in this case, we're talking about emails, so you want to answer that question within the email. So question, as I said, they might be thinking, who's this? For example, with me, I'll answer that, hey, my name's Kai. So that's the first thing, right? They now know who I am. So, okay, this is Kai. Now the next logical question is, what does he do? Why is he messaging me? So the next line I write is, hey, I'm Kai. I own an e-com agency where, we help e-com info products businesses just scale to 6 and 7 figures directly through paid traffic. So that's answered that second question of, who is it? That's the first question. Who is it? What does he do? That's answered those first two questions, and they're the first two questions that majority of people are gonna have. Moving on, you kind of want to follow this same process. So the next question they're gonna have is, why is he reaching out to me? That's a logical next question in kind of the sequence that a potential prospect will go through. So you need to answer it. It's literally thinking about the questions that they are gonna think about, and then you need to answer it. That kind of structure, as I say, whether it's emails, whether it's cold calling, whether it's Loom videos, whatever it is, that's even, you could leave this video right now with that information, and I guarantee you that's gonna help you, because that structure is what you wanna follow for basically every single outreach you wanna do. Because if somebody's reading something and they, subconsciously come up with questions, but then the next line literally answers that question, they are naturally going to take a liking to you, because they're gonna feel like you understand them. Like, it's a natural thing that they're gonna, like I say, just naturally feel. you know, they are going to feel like you understand them. And when somebody feels like somebody else is understanding them, essentially just take a liking to you. That's basically the bottom line of it. And that's something that you really, really want to get to with the people you're reaching out to, because obviously there's always exceptions to the rule, but for majority of times, people aren't going to do business. People aren't going to send over $2,000, $3,000, $4,000, $5,000 per month to somebody that they just genuinely don't like. So that's basically the bottom line to it. If somebody really, really likes you, but maybe your sales isn't on point, or maybe something's off, they're still probably going to go with you purely based on the fact that they just genuinely really like you. So if you can get that done within, I'm talking the first email here, never mind just the email sequence, and you know, never mind the outreach as a whole. If you can get them to just even slightly like you within the first email, you've already won. So moving a little bit lower within the email, you know, once you've answered those initial questions like introducing yourself, who are you, what do you do, why can you help them and whatnot, then you kind of just want to go into a few more kind of specifics. So what is it that you can actually do? So they already know that you can help them with paid traffic. They already know that they are not utilizing Facebook ads, Instagram ads, Google ads, whatever it is, to the full potential. That's why you're reaching out. But go into some numbers, go a little bit more specific. What can they genuinely expect from your service? Is it, you know, a 20% increase to their top line each month? Is it just genuinely getting more followers to their Instagram, their Facebook page, whatever it is, more subscribers to their YouTube if they're more of an info, like just whatever it is, you want to go a little bit more specific and kind of put some numbers in there. So, you know, just say to them, like, based on what I've seen, like looking at kind of your digital landscape as a whole, based on what I've seen, I can easily see that we'll be able to, you know, add an extra 1,500 followers to your Instagram page per month. And bear in mind, those 1,500 followers are going to be genuinely targeted, that could actually potentially become customers of yours, if that's what you're doing. If you're doing funnel builds, you know, go a bit more specific, like just maybe go through some conversion rates that you genuinely know you could hit with them. So look, I could build you a funnel, and yes, I can see you've got a funnel, but I think by updating it, by kind of, you know, implementing a new one, you'll be able to, you know, we'll be able to implement this and you'll be able to see X% conversion rate. Something like that. You want to give some numbers, you want to kind of pique their interest. What can they genuinely see? What can they genuinely expect, I should say, from your service? And then end it off with a scheduling link. Basically the structure of my initial email. Now again, my coaching students get my exact email script, but this is kind of the same principles that I've personally applied to the emails that I've now structured. And like I say, everybody gets, who is my coaching students, they get those exact scripts. But these principles that I'm talking about in this video, that's how I built the script. So basically you guys now have on this YouTube channel for free, you have the exact principles that I use to actually build out my own email script. So moving into the second one, you know, the second email within the sequence, you kind of just want to take their perspective. As I said, touched on before, you always want to be taking the client's perspective, you know, standing in the client's shoes throughout the whole process. But now in email 2, you're going to be a little bit more direct. You want to go about saying, like, I genuinely understand why you didn't why you either didn't reply back to my initial email, why you didn't go ahead and schedule in a call. I understand because, you know, I'm just some random person to you. You know, I'm some random person to you asking for 45 minutes of your time, and I completely understand that 45 minutes of your time is very, very valuable, and I'm not going to take that for granted. I just want you to know that X, Y, and Z, you know, my services, you can genuinely do this for your business, and I know it can be an invaluable asset to your business. Something like that. Right? You want to take their perspective, you want to understand where they're coming from, and you want to literally tell them that. So that, as I said before in the initial email, they feel like you understand them. Once they feel like you understand them and then you genuinely understand their position and their thought process and whatnot, they're naturally going to take a liking to you, which again serves as the baseline of basically all business interactions. So if you can get to that point, closing them, well, before closing them on the sales call, it's going to be a lot more easy. It's going to be a lot more natural with you guys, you know, conversing. And then when it comes to the close, it's going to be a lot easier to close them. So moving on to email 3, now that you've kind of laid the foundations, you've told them who you are, you told them what you do, how you can help them, then you've took their perspective on it, you know, you've stood in their shoes essentially and told them that you genuinely understand what they're thinking, where they're at. Now kind of, well, email 3, I like to call it the case study email. This is where you want to show them that you can genuinely do what you're telling them you can do by showing case studies. Case studies are a very, very good and powerful way to win somebody over. Because essentially anybody can send a company an email saying these few things and they've had no experience, they have no idea what they're doing. Anybody can do that, so you need to show them some case studies to kind of back up what you're saying and give what you're saying a little bit more substance. So essentially email 3, it's slightly off of selling and it's just more about explaining case studies. So you want to attach your case study to the email, whether you copy it in, attach it, physically attach it to the email, like either or. But this, as I say, this is where you want to talk about a case study. So in the email, in the actual body of the email, just explain the case study. What client it was for, what type of product, how much you spent, how much you brought in, what ROAS that kind of brought in, you know, what it resulted in. You know, just talk about kind of the length, you know, so over a 3-month period we brought in X amount or whatever. Just explain it. And then at the bottom, again, you always want to link your scheduler at the bottom of every email. And at the bottom of the email, you can just simply say something like, look, based on this and looking historically at my current and past clients, I can see that we can genuinely provide this same result, or at least expect these same results with your business. So with that being said, let's book in a call X, Y, and Z, right? That's kind of how you end it off. That's kind of, you know, the first 3 emails I personally think are the most important, because that's going to give you the first impression, and then whatever their first impression is, it's either going to build on it or it's going to change it. So the first 3 emails I personally think are the most valuable, and that's kind of how I go about setting up my first 3 emails. Now, in there, you know, I kind of gave you my exact principles that I use, my exact structures that I use to build out my emails. Now after the 3rd email, if you've still not got no response, they've still not booked in a meeting, or they've not replied back or whatever, from here you want to look at the level of intent that they've shown, you know. If they have replied back, look at how intentful that kind of reply, what they're saying is. And if they've not replied back, you can always look at how much they've opened the emails. You know, if they've opened it more than 3 times, then you genuinely know that they're interested. So from here, you could go ahead and send over some sort of loom. You could, you know, go ahead and essentially email them back, do some more touch points with them, because you know they're interested. However you want to approach it, that's how I go about it personally. Now I hope that helped as well, guys. You know, I hope you can genuinely now go and structure your own emails. Also, if you are in the e-com space, I highly recommend you message me, because I will be able to show you my exact proven time and time again e-com outreach system that, as I say, personally got all my clients, and also gets so many of my students' clients as well. It's a very powerful e-com outreach system, just everything as a whole, as well as my personal email scripts as well, guys. But look, apart from that, I hope you enjoyed, I hope you found value. If you did, make sure you smash that like button, subscribe to the channel, and I will see you in the next video.